Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the final round of the Novice Racer GT3 Championship, round 7 from Interlagos. I'm James Parfitt, going to be joined in the booth from Alex Goldschmidt. Here is going to come for a ride on the best circuit in the world ever. And don't dispute me on that one, because it's true, and we all know it's true. Let's bring you up to date with the standings going into this round. In the Class 1 standings, Matt Warner, Tommy Patero, 1 point apart, with George Medicos down on 98 in third. Then Ian Knox, Jan Janchik, Andrew Pratt, Ben Mitchell, Alistair Clark, Jack Ashton, Peter Ferrero, Stefan Klarman, and Trey Lambrook, who hasn't been here this evening. Now, it's interesting in the Class 2s at the moment, because Jerry Werner on 108 with Hayden Britton on 96. They're the two main championships protagonists, but it's going to take an absolute miracle for Hayden Britton to win this championship. And I do mean a miracle. He's going to be up against it, but we will keep an eye on the scores as we go along. They do have, don't forget, 15 points for the win in classes as well. We have come to the end of this season. We've been to the Red Bull Ring. We've been to Monza. We've been to Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, which saw rain. We've been to Okayama, Road Atlanta, Hockenheim Ring, and we're finishing off here at Interlagos as well. But let's bring Alex into the booth. Alex, welcome in, son. We are just into qualifying, 5.5 minutes to go, mate. Welcome. How are you?
I'm all good, JP. Hello, everybody. And again, yes, I will not dispute this. It's one of the most exciting, entertaining roller coaster circuits from around the globe, and it just so happens to be based in South America. So you got two blokes that you will not get a word in edgeways if you try and disagree that Interlagos is not the best circuit, if not the most premium circuit in the globe.
Absolutely, 100%. So hold on to your hats, ladies and gentlemen, because this is going to be a great one. One of the things we will tell you, we are recording after the effect as well, so we will be very limited on replays from race number 1. We will be able to show you replays at the end of race number 2, but unfortunately during race number 1, we will not be able to show you replays. It doesn't like it. Let's just put it that way. It goes a bit funky and ends the replay that we're looking at. So we will not be able to bring you replays from race number 1, but we will from race number 2 at the end of race number 2 as well. Championship standings, Warner, Patero. They've got to be the two main protagonists in class or in Group 1 at the moment. Both of them are here today as well. Same with Group 2, Werner and also Hayden Britton are both here. It's a lot tighter in Class 1 than it is in 2.
It is, because it's effectively meaning that either Matt Warner or Tommy Patero need to win this race to secure the championship. No ifs or buts, or if they finish ahead of the other. I mean, when you look at it, it's 15 for a win, 12 for second, 10 for third. So even if, let's say, Patero beats Warner by finishing second, Warner finishes third, well, it's Patero's championship. However, Hayden Britton, he's got to pull the old sleeves up and try and get all those magician's tricks out tonight, because, you know, when you look at that's a 12-point difference, and effectively, what it means is that Jerry Werner has to finish 7th in the class in Group 2, and Hayden Britton needs to go all out to win it. Effectively. So that's where we stand at the moment. Matt Warner, and at the moment, Jerry Werner, where is he at the minute? He is currently P3 in the group, so 7th overall in the number 7 Porsche, and Hayden Britton is the fastest of Group 2 at the moment, and he is currently P3. So at the moment, that is effectively Werner winning by not much.
Yeah.
You know, if Britton wins it, that's going to put him on 111 points. Werner will take it with 118.
Yep.
So effectively, Werner's got to have an absolute shocker today.
Yeah, and he's got two.
Exactly,
and he's got 2 races to have them shockers as well, to be honest with you, because even as you say, if it goes into race number 2 and Britton takes the win, it's still going to be, you know, Werner in the lead, and then Britton's going to do it all again in race number 2 to be able to do that as well. And they've got to remember it's an invert all for race number 2, so everybody's going to flip on their barnet and basically come at the end and be at the back. So it's going to be an interesting scenario here as well as Werner goes over the line. Ben Mitchell was having some greens on the board as well. Keep an eye on him in that Ferrari. Peter Ferrari. Oh, no, we're not. There we go. Unfortunately for Ben Mitchell, that lap is all done and dusted. Not good from him. Stephen Laird coming into the left-hander as well, going in through turn number 4 on the run up through to Interlagos, coming into Ferradura at the top. Peter Ferrero's got some purples on the board, and we'll follow him on his journey. And he's just coming into Laranjahara before we go into Pinarino. This is the thing with this circuit. There's a lot involved with this. Mugello, Juncal, getting the run out of Juncal up the hill through Sabino the boxes as well. There's lots of places where the slipstream can be very, very strong. Definitely coming out the center S's in through turn number 2 on that run down the Red Raposta into turn 4, and coming out of Juncal on the run down, basically all the way down to turn number 1.
Yeah, through our favourite corner name, Arquibagandas, the bleachers at turn number 15. That's where you're really going to see the slipstream come into effect and how close they're going to be to the wall on the left-hand side. Just merging on to pit lane entrance as we've got on the moment. This is Andrew Pratt in the number 10 Porsche, currently P3 at the moment. And well, the way things stand, Patero has put it on pole by over 0.4 of a second. That's a mighty lap from the Flying Finn in the 88 McLaren. So that has got some torque around this circuit. Hayden Britton at the moment hasn't made it into pole position for Group 2. So Stephen Laird, who rounds out the top 7 in the series, has gone just over 1/10.5 quicker than the man in the number 12 Porsche, who has got Jerry Werner in 3rd place, 9th in this qualifying session. And as you say, it's a full invert, so expect the cat to be thrown against the pigeons very quickly in race 2, folks.
Yep. I do 100% agree. We're just watching Andrew Pratt come over and finish off his laps here, as he's going to go over the line as well, and that will be the end of qualifying. There might be a minute or so wait while these guys are getting over the line, and before we're able to bring you up the grid here as well for race number 2. I think there's a lot of people in a very, very lot of tricky positions. Tommy Patero is going to lead us away with his championship rival Matty Warner alongside Andrew Pratt, Ian Knox and Jan Janchik. Then we've got Stephen Laird in 6th with Hayden Britton ahead of his championship contender Jerry Werner. It needs Werner to have a stinker for this to even remotely go down to race number 2. Alistair Clark, Garrett Kinney, Parker Enquist and Nick Green round out the top 12. And then behind that is Tim Wybrow, Peter Ferrero and Ben Mitchell. So hold on to your hats, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to get very, 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 very interesting indeed here. Who's going to come out on top? Is it going to be Warner? Is it going to be Patero? What is the situation here as well? Spoke to Matt Warner a couple of weeks back on the Virtual Track podcast. He literally said his main aim is to try and beat Tommy Patero. He's already got the gloves out. He's already putting his name out there. He's already name dropping as the main championship rival that he's got to contend with, Alex. The difference is he ain't wrong, is he?
No, live championship scores. I'm just going to keep an eye on Werner and Britton and Warner and Patero. It's Patero who's got that pole position. It puts him 2 points ahead on 136 to 134 with Matt Warner. In the Group 2 battle, it's going to be Jerry Werner with 118 and Hayden Britton on 108. So it is really going to be topsy-turvy in these final 2 races for the Novice Racer of this season. And I cannot wait.
It's going to be an absolute barnstormer, ladies and gentlemen. They're on their run now. It's going to be very, very tight. It's going to be very, very, very interesting indeed. How are they going to play this? Are they going to be aggressive? Are they not going to be aggressive? Are they going to sit back and see what the other one does? Are they going to trial out with each other? Where's Laird and Britton, Werner? How are they going to manage this as well? Because at the end of the day, they don't want to they need to score as many points as possible. And if it all goes wrong in race number 1 for Hayden Britton, game's over. We don't even need race number 2. It will be Jerry Werner. But if it doesn't go wrong for Britain, he's got to bring race number 2 into it. So it does bring that situation where they sit back and think, what am I going to do? How am I going to do this? What is the situation going to be? Well, hold on to your hats, ladies and gentlemen. We're just about to go over the line very, very shortly here as well. You see Patero's already gone out the front. He has outtaken the lead here as well. Matt Warner tucked into second place, Pratt in third, then Knox in fourth. Warner is really hoping that nobody attacks him going in through the centre S's. On that run out of the centre S's now as well. Up the Red Riposta we go into turn 4. Tommy Patero leads the way. Werner has cleared Britain. Oh, they're in the... Oh, that's Stephen Laird.
Oh, Stephen Laird in that. Jan Janschik, Tim Wybrow. Oh my goodness, that is a...
Mitchell was there.
Front end. That is more than a Kim Kardashian nose job, I'm afraid, there.
Absolutely.
But in the meantime, the Group 2 battle really heating up. Jerry Werner and Hayden Britton are really going tooth and nail. I mean, it was a case of in this Group 2 battle, I knew for a fact that Werner would be elbows out, Britton would be elbows out. So at the moment, it's going to give Werner 123 points, Britton 108. So at this moment in time, it means that Jerry Werner will have more than enough points to secure the Group 2 title at this moment. But Britton has got to do something special. He's got to hope that the likes of Kinney, Enquiries, Green and Wybrow might close on in.
Yep. You can see he's trying to go alongside Jerry Werner now as well on the run up through Sabido, through turn number 14. Aquibancadas on the right hand side. Here we go. There's the left turn. It's going to be these two side by side. The barrel of the Porsches. Britton in that Barbie car. Werner alongside in the blue. He's getting squeezed a little bit. Britton's trying to close the door and open it up for himself. There was contact. Push him round. Push him round. Oh no. Turn 1, lap 2.
That could be the race deciding moment there, James, because Hayden Britton's rear wing did fall off the back end of that Porsche 911 GT3R. But more dramas there.
Yeah, Werner's gone round though. That's Werner in the back. He has gone round. I think Clark was involved in that as well. There's going to be flip-flopping all the way through this. Parker Enquist is there. He's sitting in that McLaren behind the BMW of Green here as well. But Parker now trying to close in as well. That's given Garrett Kinney the lead in Class 2. Patero's still running away in Group number 1. Hayden Britton, more importantly, sitting in second with a magical rear wing that disappeared, Alex, and then it come back on again.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. So, it's going to get closer now. The way things stand at the moment, if Hayden Britton stays in 7th, which is second in Group 2, he will be 4 points behind if it finishes like it does now. And when you look at it, Jerry Werner has got 7.2 seconds to close in on Tim Wybrow just ahead. But then you look at the gap between Britton and Werner. God, that's a big old country mile. That is big. Well, Britton's now got the lead in the Group 2 standings. I've got a little bit of breaking news. It goes down to 1 point. 111 versus 112.
Yeah, Britton will got 15.
Yeah, so 96 plus 15 is 111. And Werner at the moment, 6th. That's only 4 points. As Kinney is right all over the back of Britton going into the Interlagos here at turns 4 and 5. But the Porsche looking a little bit more nimble than that Acura at the moment. But you've got to give Garrett Kinney a lot of kudos here, because he's literally bringing the Acura by the scruff of its neck. And not too far behind them is Nick Green in the number 14 BMW. So we've got a bona fide battle for the race lead in Group 2, in Class 2. But in the meantime, well, there's not much really to pick between Tommy Patero and Matt Warner, still running at 136 Patero, 134 Warner, live championship scores as we speak.
Yeah, these guys are up front at the moment. There is Patero. That is the back marker in front of us as well at the moment for Tommy Patero. That's Stephen Laird Patero's style. I thought he was coming in pit lane. He took the inside line. Warner now drops with a second back from Tommy Patero. It's going to be very, very hard from Warner here as well. Clark's in pit lane. Ben Mitchell's carrying on. Jan Janček is out. That battle in Class 2 is still looming. Patero opening up the gap to 1.2 seconds at the moment. Peter Ferrero and Andrew Pratt. Well, Pratt's facing the wrong way.
Oh.
Never good for him. And I don't even have to look at the replay to tell you what probably happened there. He come through the centre S's. The Porsche said no, and around he went. And that is without even looking at the replay. I can imagine that is what has taken shape here as well. But Hayden Britton now managing to open up a little bit of a gap to Garrett Kinney of about 6 tenths. He's dropped into the hands of Green. Green's tucked in right behind him. So for Hayden Britton at the moment, he's being saved by the fact that Garrett Kinney is having a battle with Nick Green.
Well, also the fact that Jerry Werner is running. Looking at the lap times here, JP, 37.6 for Jerry Werner, 34.9 for Hayden Britton. He's absolutely flying. The gap now up to a second as Green goes towards the outside. As they head up to Pico de Pato here at the Duck's Beak. And then it's going to be the run down through into turn 11, then into Jussau very shortly through turn 12. And then it's through the iconic Submitted Boxes location through turns 13 and 14 for the bleachers up Kibo Candas, and now Britton has really put the pedal to the metal. That Porsche is getting away. It's 1.25 seconds up the road from Garrett Kinney, and Nick Green still giving chase in the beamer for P2.
Yeah, I am surprised with that incident. He's not affected. Well, to be fair, as we said, his rear wing went and came back again, which is probably helping him here. You can take a lot more curve on the left-hand side there, Hayden, mate, just to let you know, and that keeps you from getting a slowdown on the exit there, as he's running away with it at the moment. But Nick Green, however, is still making Garrett Kinney honest here. He's keeping him honest all the way. He's putting him under pressure in that BMW. Is he going to be able to get there? He looks up the inside. Kinney doesn't even fight it, Alex. He just says, okay, off you go, son, I'm done.
Well, let's add Nick Green into how the championship could round up in Group 2. He's on 86 points. That puts him on, effectively, the same score. Well, 98 points that puts him in. So he's got to hope for a bit of a miracle and a prayer that Mr. Jerry Werner, if he drops down to 7th position, that nets him 2 points. And if that is the case, well, at the moment with Stephen Laird, who is still running, but he's like about a minute plus change away from Jerry Werner at the moment, this is probably going to be good enough, I would think. I mean, Parker Enquist is Nick Green's nearest competition in terms of Class 2 at the moment. They were separated by 10 points coming to this round. Parker Enquist currently now on what is going to be 84 points, as you get 8 points for scoring, for taking a P4. So Nick Green just really trying to solidify that third in the standings, because he knew that it was going to be a tall order to catch Britton, let alone catch Werner. Yeah,
it was always going to be tough, I think, for Green coming into this. I think he needed to be a little bit more further up, closer to them 10 points up in an ideal way. He's sitting in second at the moment, and so for him, he'll have to just keep trying to settle in and maybe go for third place here in the championship. I don't think he's going to be able to get near Werner, and I don't think he's going to be able to get near Britton, but let's see what goes on, as we've got 11 minutes to go of race number 1, and the championship is still alive in both classes going into that final race here as well, which is what's coming up after this. And they will be a battle, Alex, but it's going to be who's going to handle that pressure the best going into race number 2.
It's all about the strategy of managing traffic. That's what race 2 comes down to here on the Novice Racer League. And still remember doing the opening round at the Red Bull Ring. That was a bit gnarly, let's say, on race 2. You got more track time as a result of that inverted grid, but you've just got to be careful. You've got to keep your nose clean, and that's what we see. Like Tommy Patero's just opened up a gap of nearly 2.4 seconds over Matt Warner. I mean, it's going to come down to the final race, but you know, you just see how hard some of these drivers are pushing. Is Mr. Garrett Kinney? Oh, he was blinking a little bit there, and I think he's ended up being out of the session.
Yeah, he did have a little bit of a blink, and unfortunately, he is still there.
Oh, he's back.
Yeah, he's back. But he will have to be a little bit careful with obviously, the iRacing connection flag thing that's been brought into it as well, that will kick you back into pit lane if you are blinking around a little bit too much. So he's going to have to be a little bit careful. Ben Mitchell got himself caught in the incident earlier on with Alistair Clark as well. These guys are battling it out a little bit further down the order. In fact, this is the battle for the final reverse grid pole in a way, because it seems weird that we've got people down in 13th and 14th here, Alex, battling for pole position.
Yeah, well, I think the thing is Jan Janchik is going to be smiling a little bit, thinking, okay, well, I don't have to deal with an additional, like, X amount of minutes of racing. But he'll be lining up on pole.
It's nuts, isn't it? It seems absolutely bonkers. The person at the back will get pole position. But there we go. We'll leave this as it is, and fair play to them as well. I think Janchik is out. I don't think he's coming back for race number 2, but we will find out. Parker Enquist here has got Andrew Pratt, who's had his own drama this evening, as he's going to carry this on and try and take that positions there as well. Parker sitting 4th in class, really wants to get to Garrett Kinney to claim that last podium spot. There's been some form of drama here for both Nick Green and Hayden Britton. That did not look, Alex, to be fair, the back end of that did not look like the cleanest turn one we've seen.
Definitely not, because you can lose a lot of traction if you turn in too quickly, as Nick Green is going to try to go towards the, round the outside at turn 4 at the Interlagos. He's going to run a little bit of drift, and that might give him a possible slowdown penalty. He was all 4 wheels outside of the white lines, but Hayden Britton just able to keep it nice and calm. Hayden Britton is just doing exactly what he needs to do. Hit his marks, don't go 10 tenths, and get that car over the line first, because that will give him the advantage in terms of psychological, let's say, going into race number 2. Yes, he'll be a little bit further back, but Nick Green dives to the inside. That was a big pato. There's a very tight place to do that, but he made the move stick. So that now changes everything again. 109 plays 112. So effectively by Hayden Britton losing out to Nick Green, that's going to cost him a couple of valuable championship points. But Britton is now closing in on the slipstream of the BMW very quickly as they come out of Subida's boxes through Arquibacandas at the bleachers at turn 15. They're going to hug that wall very, very close indeed. And now it's just a case of the next 7 minutes is where Hayden Britton just needs to refocus, go after Nick Green, secure the win.
Yep. Well, that's made it sound really, really easy, but let's see how he gets on here with 6.5 minutes to go. This is the closest battle on the circuit at the moment. Hayden Britton and Nick Green. Hayden really needs a win. Like, I cannot specify how much of a win he needs here. He cannot afford to not get this victory. He is imperative to try and keep his points at the moment. It's 112 to 111, I've got it as, going into race number 2, so it's still wide open. 134, 136 in class 2, but at the moment Patero just seems unstoppable, Alex. And poor old Matt Warner doesn't look like he's got a response.
No, it's going to go down to 2 points between the pair in the final race itself. I mean, yeah, I'll make it 109, 112, because with 15 points it would have put Hayden Britton on 111. Now he's dropped down to
he's come down one.
That's going to put him 108 then effectively. He loses 3 points, but I think the gap is still quite minimal between Hayden Britton and Nick Green, but they've also got to be very careful of Garrett Kinney in that 304 Acura running at the top 3 in class 2. So it is a very, very close battle, but Britton is really closing that gap onto Green. And look, there he is, coming out of the final corner. That's the kind of run you need out of Subida's boxes. Britton has got to do something special not through the centre resters, but maybe into turn 5 at the Interlagos after the Reta Aposta. But you can see how confident that Garrett Kinney is on the brakes as well in the Acura. So this is going to be a 3-horse race. The Class 2 lead, inevitably, which in 5.25 minutes will be the victory. But Hayden Britton's got a real good run on Nick Green, coming down the Reta Aposta. Out of turn 3 at Curva de Sol. Will Hayden Britton go for the inside line? He decides no, not at the moment. Maybe keep Nick Green guessing, maybe force the BMW into an unforced error, and that will be his opportunity, but time is fast running out for the number 12 Barbie liveried Porsche.
I agree. I do agree with you. I think he's got to try and get something out of him here. I think it's either going to be force Green into a mistake. I don't know if the Porsche's got quite the gruff to go near the BMW going up out of Junção. I don't know if it's quite got the pull to be able to make that move into turn number 1, but we are going to keep an eye out. 4.5 minutes to go. Tommy Patero coming over the line very, very shortly on a 1:32. So it's going to be at least 3 laps, I think, here, give or take, if my maths is correct. Don't rely on me for maths, I've got to be honest, as these guys continue to fight. It's 3, isn't it? They go over?
Yeah, it is, because he crossed the line just literally on a 1:33.9. So yeah, we got 3 laps to go here at Interlagos. So this is the amount of distance that Hayden Britton has to try and reel in and get past Nick Green. He's now got to go aggressive, a little bit more risk versus reward for the number 12 Porsche. He's got to put it all on the line, because if not, well, the thing is, Werner is going to be ahead of him on the grid for race 2. And what he is going to need to do is get his elbows out, get aggressive, be controlled with it as well, pick his moments. And this is where now we see that Kinney's being dropped like a bad habit. Britton's now closing in, under brakes into turn 4. Again, the gap is going up, so Nick Green runs wide out of turn 4. So does Hayden Britton. And now Britton just needs to do one specific tactic. Put the headlights on and say to Nick Green, right, sunshine, I'm coming for you. I'm coming for that race 1 victory.
Yeah, but this is where the Porsche should be stronger, in through this middle section, through SA, Pinorino, Biga de Pado. This is where it should pick up a lot easier than the BMW, but that BM of Green just seems to have this cemented and seems to be able to just get the power down and get that BMW going in the right way. Through Mugello, he's got a good run here. He's now got to decide, can he make the move into Junção? Nope, he can't, but he's got to get the run out of Junção. Is that Woody silhouette on the side of the car there? It does look like a Woody silhouette coming out of the Barbie Brighton. But this is where Britton's got to try and get that momentum going in this Porsche. He's got to try and get that pace. I don't know why he didn't sit in behind him. I don't know why he didn't follow him across the track. I would have done that, because he's just lost 2 temps going up that run as well, which seems a little bit bonkers.
Yeah, maybe it may not have been conducive to the handling of the Porsche. I mean, the BMW, in terms of GT3s, is a pretty good all-rounder, but the Porsche known for its poise and body control when it comes to handling. They come out of turn 3 at Curva de Sol, down the Reta Aposta at over 140 miles an hour. 5th gear, now up to 6th, 150 as they go into the braking zone. Little dab on the brakes, turn it left, and again they both run wide. You can see how hard both of them are pushing. Green does not want to let this victory go out of his grasp, but Britton needs to throw everything, including the kitchen sink, at Nick Green to go for the victory, because after this there's only one more lap to go as Tommy Patero is coming up to 75% of the way through. This penultimate lap will complete 13 laps here at race 1 for Interlagos, and Hayden Britton will find himself 4 points behind Jerry Werner, and more importantly will be behind him on the grid for race 2.
Yeah, Werner's good there. He's got to pick it, because Werner's moved up into 4th in class now for Werner, so he's going to be on for 8 points. It's going to be about race 2, I think. This is going to be the situation. It's going to be the final lap of the race as well. Patero's over the line. Hayden Britton's got one more lap here. Knox has closed in on Warner quite a lot. I'll keep an eye on this battle between these guys. But there's Ian Knox. There's Warner. And at the moment, Warner is struggling in that Ferrari going into this final lap. Knox in that gruffing Mustang in behind him. As looks like he's been reeling him in lap by lap at the moment, and Ian Knox is doing a stellar job. There's only a few more corners to go here. In fact, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 if you really want to be pedantic about the long sweeping left-hander. But at the moment, Warner's under pressure, Alex, and he's trying to hang on to that second place, but it's going to be very tight if Knox gets a run out of Junkau at him.
Yeah, Ian Knox in the number 27 Ford Mustang, 5.4 litre, flat plane crank V8 with that thunderous rumble from the rear tailpipe. Well, the side tailpipes and the aerodynamics on that car. As the timer hits 0, it is going to be Tommy Patera that is going to pick up the win as the Majors Esports McLaren fires its way with its 4 litre twin turbo V8 out of the final corner. It's going to be Patera that takes the win here in race 1.
Yeah, Patera takes the win in race number 1. What's going to happen here? This is where we need to focus our attention in class number 2. At the moment, it is green, and he didn't really need to be there. But Britain's got to hang on to this second place. It's imperative he hangs on. He's going to have to just block Garrett Kinney no matter what he does. Keep it against the wall. Take the shortest route. Kinney's coming at him. Can't get him. Britain does manage to hold on there as well. Werner's dropped down the order. It does look like Werner made another mistake there.
Yeah, he's been down in 6 all the way. You can see that the right side is completely battered. There's no front bumper on that Porsche. That is really going to hurt his opportunity, but Hayden Britton would have been a little bit closer. So Tommy Patera wins. Nick Green wins Class 2. Jerry Werner has got it all to do in race number 2 because it's going to be 6th across the line. That is going to give him 4 points. So with the updated championship scores, so Matt Warner on 122 takes 12 points in that race. That puts him on 134 after race 1. Tommy Patera started 121 points, 136 after race number 1. As this is the that's the grid for race 1. But then you look at class 2 with Werner comes into this round on 108 points after race 1, 4 points scored. That's 112 for him. And then Hayden Britton came in with, 96? That is 108 points he's on. So it's advantage Patero and Werner at the moment for this second race. And more to the point, it's going to come down to whoever finishes ahead of the other. If Hayden Britton wins Class 2 and Jerry Werner finishes 3rd or lower, the Class 2 title is his. And whoever takes the victory if Patero finishes at least 2 points ahead of Warner, he's taken Class 1.
Yeah. So there are the results from race number 1. Tommy Patero was your winner. Matt Warner, Knox, Ferrero, Green, Britain. And that whole grid is just going to flip on its head for race number 2. So hold on to your hats. Race 2 has got up and running here as well. No hanging around. Pratt is the lead car with Clark, with Mitchell, with Laird, Werner, Enquist, Britain, Wybrow. So these guys, they're all in the mix at the moment. Britain is there. Werner is in front of Britain. So we'll see how he goes on here as well. But yeah, some great action, I think, going to be coming in race number 2. Oh, there's always one. Alistair Clark driving inside the pace car, partly because he can.
Yes. Otherwise, if you did that at Le Mans, you'd have a significant penalty.
Yeah. It's the only time they make the pace car, well, you can drive through it, can't you?
Yeah.
So there you go. Yeah. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Race number 2, the championship decider, is coming very, very shortly. Pratt leads the way, then Clark, then Mitchell, then Laird, then Werner, then Kinney, Enquist, Green, then Britton, Ferrero, Knox, Warner, Patero. Pace car's in. He's brought them all the way to the left-hand side, Alistair Clark. That could be a little bit dangerous going into turn number 1. We've got to keep an eye on this man. How's he going to get through here? Can he handle turn 1 without any dramas? He's got to make sure he gets through this. He needs this higher place to win this championship. He runs a little bit wide, coming out of the centre S's. That's Parker Enquist gone round. He's gone round already, but Jerry Werner now sitting in behind Stephen Laird as they continue to fight. Going into down the Red Aposta into the Interlagos. Werner's managing to hold on. Kinney's there as well. He's looking at going up the inside of that McLaren of Tim Wybrow. Hayden Britton is there. He's lost a place to Peter Ferrero, but there's still lots more racing to come. Another 20 minutes here, and at the moment, Andrew Pratt leading the way.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is with Jerry Werner, who is now actually leading. Oh my goodness me, this will put him on 129 points. Hayden Britton at the moment is stuck behind. Well, he's got through on Matt Warner, who's now he's going to try. He's got to try and see if he can. Well, Warner's gotten through. Patero's trying to get through and touches
Tommy
Britton. Oh, that's not what Hayden Britton needed right now. Did not want a drama at this early stage of the race.
No, he definitely didn't. He definitely did not want any form of dramas at all. There's been more. Pratt's gone round again.
Oi, 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 oi.
Wow, Andrew Pratt there, unfortunately. Tim Wybrow now with Laird. Werner's leading the Class 2. He is leading. This could be massive for him if he can stay there.
Yeah, and the big question now is if he can hold on to that. But then when you look at the gaps from Laird to Wybrow, Kinney, Ferraro, Knox, Warner, Patero, Britton is a second off of the fin at the moment, and just trying to work things out as things stand. It's nearly going to a little bit further back behind I think Laird, who is really closing in on Werner. This could be a dive at any time soon by Stephen Laird in the McLaren on the Porsche of Werner. Now Werner's got to keep his nose clean. At the moment, Warner is ahead of Kinney, who's now in between himself, who's between Warner and Patero. So Warner at the moment is currently running. Well, Patero's got through on Kinney, so that's not quite. Well, that's changed things a little bit again. So yeah, Patero currently running. That is going to be 140 points. Warner on 140 points. They are level in Class 1 at the moment. It goes to count back in a minute as things stand, but we're only 4 minutes in. There's still plenty of this race to go. Britain's now up to fourth in class, so that puts him up That puts him to 116 points. But Jerry Werner, who is being hunted and quite literally so highly pressured by Stephen Laird, as Werner gets the tap from the
he's in a bum.
the wall. No!
Oh!
I cannot believe what I've just witnessed.
And there goes his bumper for Jerry Werner. Wow.
Oh, I cannot believe what I have just witnessed.
Oh my God.
Second time that Jerry Werner has been on the receiving end. The back end is a mess. The front end is a mess. And now, well, Hayden Britton is on 118 points.
Oh no!
Careful, that was.
He's coming! He's coming! He's not going to stop! Oh! Oh! Props to Tim Wybrow. Oh, Knox is round. Ian Knox is round as well, but props to Tim Wybrow for getting that car stopped on the grass. Fair play, son. Fair play to you, and avoiding Hayden Britton. Driver, that's it. Fair play. I got you sorted for race number 2. That was absolutely amazing. He could have just drove that car straight across the grass. He would have taken out Britton as well, but he managed to get it stopped there. Stunning run from Tim Wybrow. That's put Hayden Britton into second place now, ahead of Jerry Werner, who is Stephen Laird leading the way in this class 2.
Yeah, and that now means Hayden Britton is leading by 2 points. 120 plays 118. In the meantime, Warner versus Patero. This is going to come down to the final lap, I would imagine, because Warner is only 9.5 tenths ahead of Patero. So the Ferrari seems to have upped its game a little bit. And there you see in the background, Hayden Britton running P2. He's, well, at the moment, Britton is currently, 3.8 seconds behind Stephen Laird. So at this moment in time, Werner needs to, Werner's not having a great run with a very, very heavily damaged Porsche 992 GT3R at the minute. No front end to speak of. The rear end's been remodeled more times than the kitchen in my mum and dad's house. And that car is wounded, but he's still trying to do what he can. As Peter Ferraro rounding out the top 3. He's at the moment currently running second in Class 1. He's about, it's getting very, it's about 5 seconds between him and Alistair Clark. So Clark has gotten away with it. Look at the back have you seen the back of Stephen Laird's car? It's an absolute mess. There's no rear bumper, no rear diffuser to speak of. Look at that.
Is that involved with Jerry Werner then?
Possibly.
We'll try and have a look back at that after the race here. But Warner's going to clear Laird. That's put him in between himself and Patero. Patero is just there in the background. So Laird's going to play an important part here. But the thing with that is Britain's coming at Laird as well. There's 4 tenths up front with Alistair Clark and Ben Mitchell. You can see the chasing pack in behind, like the pack of wolves chasing down the injured gazelles as they're moving their way forward here. But Mitchell has got off the line, great benefited from the reverse grid, did an absolute stunning job. Him and Clark have just bolted away and gone, no, I'm not getting involved in this, I'm off. It does look like Knox has had a little bit more of another issue, unfortunately. But it's that middle pack from Warner, Laird, Patero and Britton that could get quite interesting, because there's 3 championship contenders in that situation. You know, and Britton has just cleared Stephen Laird. That's due to the fact that Laird's just made a mistake.
Well, also the fact of having no rear bumper on that. Okay, he's got the diffuser there. That's still going to give him the downforce, but it's not going to help the aerodynamics. You know, when you've not got the full bodywork on the rear of the car, it compromises the aero and also the side wash as well. You know, if there's a side drop, but now that puts Harry Britton in prime position to secure the title with a win. And he was, you know, when you think about it, he was 12 points behind Jerry Werner, who now is 6th at the minute, and that is 4 points. That is going to mean 1-1-6 to Werner, 1-2-3 for Britton, who's closing it on Patero. Patero's now got to try and find. He's got to get ahead. He's got to get ahead of Peter Ferraro, but Peter Ferraro just did. Well, no, not Ferraro. Warner. Warner just did a 34.1. Patero appears to be struggling with the McLaren. Yeah. I mean, obviously, with that, the first few moments of this race, Patero was struggling, and I said about negotiating traffic, and it seems like Warner has had that little bit more motivation, just to sort of like kick him to say, right, you need to get away from Tommy. And I'm wondering who's got the most wins out of these 2 drivers as well, because that is where it's going to come down to. Because 5th place for Patero gives him 6 points. That puts him on 142. And at the moment, Warner is currently 4th. That gives him 8 points. That also puts him on 142. So, yeah, I'm wondering who has the most wins out of the 2 drivers.
Tommy Patero, I think. And I say that loosely. Because I'm trying to rack my brains here, and that's not easy, to be blatantly honest with you. Because I would have to do some digging, but I think it is Patero, but I'm pretty sure he missed a couple of rounds as well. Yeah, I think it is Patero who's got the most wins here at this time. But the guys up front of Alistair Clark and Ben Mitchell, they're doing what I think they need to do best here, Alex, is probably leave each other alone and try and escape.
Yeah. That's going to be the crucial point here now, and it's now it's going to be a bit of a little bit of a ta-ta-ta, as you like to say, between Mitchell and Clark at the front end. Ferraro's closing in, so we could have a 3-horse race for this final win for Class 1. And yeah, Warner at the moment, you know, if he was a little bit closer, but when these three start to battle, expect the gap between 3rd and 4th to close rapidly.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just trying to look back here and try and see the winning situation. I'm sure it's Patero. Don't quote me on that, but I think it was here. But we'll keep an eye and see what goes on as these guys continue to battle it out. Clark, Mitchell, and now Ferrero's coming into the order as well. He's been chasing them down little by little, but Britton has taken the win in the arms if he stays where he is as well. That's really going to mix things up here in this final race of the season, Alex. It's been absolutely bonkers.
It has, and Interlagos always entertains. Are you not entertained? We are.
All right, Gladiator.
Yes, indeed.
Absolutely.
But Clark's bombing all over the back of Mitchell, and Ferraro's going to he's going to be smiling more than the Cheshire Cat from Alice in Wonderland in a minute, because I go, all right, hello fellas, 2's company, let's make it 3's a crowd, shall we?
Yeah, and he's going to put these under pressure here, I think, as well for Ferrero, unless he makes some drastic mistake. But he's trying to get these guys, he's putting them under pressure, he's closing in with the draft as well. But at the moment, Ferrero's doing a stellar job sitting in that third place. Pratt and Knox look like they're close together. Green, Werner and Enquiries looks like they're close as well. Every position Werner makes up, he will score at some points on his championship standings. So at this moment in time, it is 1, 2, 3 to Britain, and Werner is 6th at the moment. What? So that's 4, so that's 1, 1, 6. So Britain's going to take it.
Yep. Here goes Peter Ferraro. He's definitely getting his nose stuck in, going around the outside, or trying to, on Alistair Clark to get the crossover here through the centre S's as they go down the hill. As the McLaren leads the Ferrari leads the Ingolstadt meet in the Maranello sandwich at the moment, with the Ferrari leading. An Audi. There is Warner. There is Patero in the background. So they are closing a little bit, but not by much at the moment. And we've still got 6 3/4 minutes to go here in this final 20-minute race of this season.
Yeah, which has been absolutely incredible because it has gone so fast, race number 2. And it's continuing on here. The fact that these guys are still fighting up the front. Ferrero's in there as well. He is sitting in that 3rd place, chasing these guys down. Andrew Pratt and Ian Knox are fighting out for 6th and 7th big class. Hayden Britton is leading the class 2s currently at the moment on the left-hand side there. So this continues to battle all the way in for Junkao. Up now they go. Is this Ferrero's opportunity to make this move?
I think very much it could be the opportunity that he's been waiting for, and that could be rather crucial at this moment in time. And to be honest with you, it's just a case of let's see how things pan out, because Clark is now under the mercy of Ferrari, who's really closing in. Gap is less than 2/10 of a second. Dives to the inside of the centre S's, and Clark shuts the door for the moment. Ferraro has to open up the steering, loses time through turn 2 as they head through Gober de Sol at 3.
Yeah, he definitely did that. He's going to try and close back in again, is Peter Ferrero now. He's got to be trying to make his move back up again. He had to go. Clark said no. Ferrero now goes and looks, hits it. He hit the brakes there. He had to hit the brakes. and stop himself, because that was nearly a full-blown collision with these guys as well. Ferrero nearly hit Clark that time around, Alex. He got very, very close indeed.
Yeah, well, the biggest thing that's happened, the biggest development, is that Warner is, well, that gap is now, oh, right. This could be a moment that could decide Class 1, because Matt Warner is now less than 9/10 behind Peter Ferraro, who has the fastest lap of the race. If Warner makes the move over the Ferrari in P3, that will seal the deal for Class 1.
Are you sure?
That will, because if he gets those, if he takes those points, that will put him on 10. That will put him on 144 versus 142 with Tommy Patero. Up until this point, throughout the entirety of this second race, they came into it with Patero 2 points ahead. And if Warner does the unthinkable, gets through, look, he's gaining. Warner is gaining on Ferraro. And now we've got a possibility with 4 minutes to go of 4 cars, 3 of them Ferrari 296 GT3s, all within a shot of the race victory. And Matt Warner has got to pick his moment.
Well, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be a very, very tight end here as well. 3.5 minutes to go. Your leader is Ben Mitchell with Alistair Clark alongside. In behind that is Peter Ferrero. There's the overall situation. Patero and Warner. Warner closing in on the back of Ferrero as well. So could he get held up here by the cars in front? Alex having this little battle.
Yeah, and I think now this is the opportunity. They are going to be very shortly coming around to start the penultimate lap of the race. Meantime, update for Class 2. Jerry Berner is now up into what is effectively 5th place in Class 2. So that's going to put him only 5 points behind. Makes it 118 with Werner, 123 to Britain, as we will very shortly go on to the penultimate lap of this race. Nick Green has got through on Tim Wybrow, so Werner's going to have to wait and see what happens in front of him. 2 laps to go, and the gap between the top 4 is now less than 1.4 seconds. Warner's got a real good opportunity. The minute he fires it past Ferraro, comes across the line in at least P3, that's it, job done. He's secured the Class 1 title here in the Novice Racer League.
Well, we're going to keep an eye out here as well, because obviously it can end up, if they're on the same points, who's going to get the count back, what the situation's going to be. Well, there's a lot still involved here, I can tell you that much, and it's going to come down to the absolute wire, I think, here for Matt Warner and Patero. Garrett Kinney and Andrew Pratt are running side by side currently as well, down into the left-hander of Interlagos. Through he goes for Andrew Pratt. Kinney lets him go through, but he's front 4, Mitchell, Clark, Ferrero and Warner not letting off, and literally it's going to be the final lap this time around.
Yeah, that gap is coming down significantly. Call it about a second covering the top 4 at the moment, as Mitchell still leads. Oh, moment there for Ferraro. That nearly opened the door for Matt Warner to get through. But yeah, one more tour to go. It is going to be a case of how things pan out over the last lap around here at Interlagos to decide the Class 1 title. Oh, bit of a wiggle from the back end of Warner as they power out of Savida's boxes. Ben Mitchell will lead us on to the final lap, but Alistair Clark of the Audi R8 is closing in very, very quickly. They pull to the left-hand side of the wall. White flag in the air. Last lap. Here we go.
Yeah, final lap of the race. Is this going to be Mitchell? Is it going to be Clark, Ferrero, Warner? Warner and Patero, I think, are going to be very, very close here. I'll be very surprised if we're going to be able to decipher who's taken the victory at the end of this one. Keep your eyes out, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, because we're going to have to try and do some working out here. I don't know how we're going to be able to do this, Alex, because it's going to be very, very close indeed.
Yeah, it's going to come down to these last few corners, I fear, James. Oh, Ferraro runs wide. Warner's got the run up the hill. Going into Ferradura, he's going to pull it to the right-hand side of the Ferrari, the number 1 car, but he has to slot in behind. He's got to be a little bit more aggressive and be decisive now as Matt Warner. as Mitchell goes defensive on Clark. Ferraro's got nowhere to go. Neither has Warner. Now in towards Big Capato for the last time. The time is going to hit 0. Warner to the outside into turn 10. Is he going to throw it around the outside, or is he going to go for the crossover? He's trying everything he can. Ferraro's going to nearly open the door, but it was a left-hander coming up this time. And Warner's got to go absolutely all guns blazing, because it's going to go to a dead heat. Warner's through! Warner's through! That's P3. That's going to secure him the crown.
Yeah, Ben Ferrero there, not too sure if he moved over or what the situation was, but Matt Warner is through at the moment. We're going to have to keep an eye on the scores. It's going to be Ben Mitchell taking the win with Alistair Clark alongside. But there as well, Warner comes over the line in third. Great job from him. Hayden Britton securing the win in the championship. I think Hayden has wrapped it up in the Class 2s, but it's going to be Warner and Patero. So Patero was on one. Warner was on 134. That's 9-4-1. Patero finished in 4th. That's 8 points.
That is going to be. That's level again. Oh, well, because Ferraro ended up going into pit lane, didn't he? So Patero went through as a rite of passage. So
I've got Warner as the winner, but no. But where was Patero? 4th.
Yeah, Patero was 4th. So Warner started on 134 points, picks up 10 for P3. That puts him on 144. And Tommy Patero, it's basically goes to countback. And I think Patero has got the most wins, which effectively, by our provisional assumption, not calculation, folks, we've counted the points, but I think Tommy Patero might have taken it on countback based on race wins ahead of Matt Warner.
Yeah, I'm trying to do some digging now here, because I believe they are drawn here, so we'll keep an eye out on that one. Ben Mitchell is your winner in race number 2 with Alistair Clark alongside in second and Matt Warner in third. Tommy Patero in 4th. Hayden Britton takes the win in Class 2 and wraps up the championship. Ian Knox and Andrew Pratt there 6th and 7th. Garrett Kinney 8th with Nick Green 9th. Tim Wybrow 10th. Then you got Jerry Werner down in 11th. Peter Ferrero, Parker Enquist, Stephen Laird and Jan Janchik. Provisionally, I've got Patero, I'm sure, on countback and Hayden Britton, but we will wait for the official announcement, guys. It's going to be something that you're going to have to get your teeth into and just hold off a little bit more. Keep your eyes on the Novice Racer Discord here as well. But this has been absolutely stunning end to this season, Alex, and I think we both can sit back and say a great race from Interlagos.
Yeah, muito obrigado. Thank you very much to Interlagos for providing another great way to end another championship, especially with the Novice Racer, who've recently come on board with us here at JP Broadcasting. I cannot wait until what happens next time.
Yeah, I can't wait either as well. But that's going to wrap this one up, guys, as well. Thank you so much for joining us. I've been James Parfitt. I've been alongside Alex Goldschmidt this evening. And as always, take care. Have a great week. And you never know, we might see you on a track sometime. Good night.
Good night.